Oi. Good morning, Vietnam. Wow, Talila's out on the road.
She is out on the road.
Where are you, Talila?
I'm in Frome, but I've just come back from Devon.
Oh, nice. You're near Moshi then?
Yeah, I actually walked past Moshi's house yesterday. It's just like, have you been to his house?
No, but
Oh,
keep on seeing pictures of it.
oh, it's so beautiful. It's just like down by the river with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
We were walking along and we stopped, and I was like, "Oh yeah, there's Moshi's house," and we were both like, "It's so epic! It's like the most epic house." Yeah.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Amazing.
How have you been doing?
Yeah, walking good. My little boy. Good morning, little one. Getting bigger one. Yeah, no, I've been good. I've been good. Very busy. Very busy. And yeah, it's working. It's working. Carrying on.
Anyway,
Carrying on.
I I wondered, like, I was thinking this morning because I've been on a sort of shamanic soul retrieval course for the last few days, which has been epic. And but I haven't done a lot of our coursework stuff, and then I suddenly thought it would be really helpful to know, like like each week where we should be getting up to. I know you said just do as much as you can, but there's so much that, like, if there was a kind of a little bit of a guideline of, like, at least get to this point, that could be really helpful.
Yeah, I just try to do that. I tried to do that. I tried to at the start of the course. I had the whole course laid out in weeks,
Right.
and then it just became really clear that you
Doesn't.
can't do it like that because
Right. Okay.
everybody's in so many different places.
Right.
Like,
Gotcha.
it makes no sense whatsoever because, and also if somebody wants to look back at the course afterwards, then having weeks makes no sense.
Gotcha.
So instead, you try to divide it up in modules,
Mm.
and then again, a lot of the stuff will be, won't be relevant to some people, and it's it's hard to do that. And then it's also like, okay, so do you put everything in one course, or do you
Mm.
make like 4 different courses?
Yeah.
Because you can have a course just on Facebook, you can have a course just on Instagram, you
Yeah.
can have a course just on, there's so many different aspects to this business, as you know.
Mm.
You can go into any one of them in minute, massive details.
Yeah.
Um, but again, it's just trying to give people enough information, but without overloading people.
Mm.
And there's only so much you can do, depending on where you are with your business and
Yeah.
at what stage you're at.
I know.
Hey, Sunny.
Oh,
Yeah.
am I?
I don't saying that right.
Sorry, I thought I was muted. Still getting the hang of this mutation
Lydia.
thing.
Lydia's on her way to another concert. She's on
I'm on my way to work. So I'm driving now, but I'm going to be on a train in a moment.
Okay.
Well, in about maybe 20 minutes, I'll be on the train.
Okay.
But I can still talk. I might just be going in and out of signal.
Yeah, you're looking very cool with your glasses there. Summer's day.
Glasses. I know it's very bright. It's super cold, but it's so bright.
I know, it's beautiful. Yesterday was so funny. We woke up and it was like completely sunny like this. And then all of a sudden, like I looked around again, it was snowing like big time. It was nuts. It's like, what? Have I just like gone to another dimension or another planet or something?
Huh?
Welcome, Martin. Who else is here? Welcome, Joy. Okay, good. So I think the main thing is, guys, is that what we've got to be careful of is as the course progresses, that we don't lose steam, that we don't lose focus, and I think that's quite a it's quite a a challenge to keep the focus going throughout the whole process. So I'm just gonna, I'm going to invite you all to just really keep your focus, try get as much as you can out of this process, so that it just gives you a nice boost, because in a couple of weeks time or 3 weeks time you won't be on the course, and it'll be different. So let's just make use of the course as much as possible. I'm trying to find the thing that I made. Okay, so this is week 4 in your launch cycle. And like I was speaking to Tallulah, it's very, very difficult to sort of target everybody at the same time, because everybody's in so many different places. So that's why I didn't do the course in weekly format, but I've done it in just like modules. So the thing is, the main thing you need to focus on is, you don't even need to focus on the course. That's not the point. The introduction to the course, this is all about getting you to the stage where you fill out your master document. And then in that master document, you have a full plan. And in that plan, you have dates, you have times, and you know exactly what you're going to do based on that plan. Okay. The course is almost like just a supplement to that plan, because the point is, you go through the plan and you work out what you can do and what you're going to do for this particular release. And that's going to depend on the 3 things. It's going to depend on where you are in your career. It's going to depend on how much time, and it's going to depend on how much budget you have. Yeah. So you're going to go to the master document, number 1, and you're going to make sure that that's filled out as much as possible. And you're going to set out your dates, your times for everything to happen. And that's going to guide you through the process, okay, to release that track. That is the foundation. It's the roots. It's everything, that master document. Okay, from the master document, if you have any questions or stuff like that, then go to the course. And in the course, you'll probably find the answer. You can do searches. And if it's not there, then ask us, or ask me, or speak to somebody in the Telegram group, just like Lena did yesterday. And we'll find a way to support each other through the process. In terms of the course, the course is going to be there. Like, every single part of that course is valuable. There's a lot of value in there. And it's something that you want to go through in its entirety over time. But because depending on where you are and how much effort you're going to put into this particular release, you're only going to do the stuff, you can't do everything immediately. Like, this is a lengthy process. So, you don't need to do the whole course straight away. Just do the pieces that are pertinent to you. And then from there, you're going to do the best you can for that particular release. And what's great about it is, every time you do a release, you get better at it. You build your audience, you build your fans, it just gets better. It's like this whole momentum thing. So if you've never released a track before, you don't release the track and then, you only got 10 likes, or you only got 20 streams, or you only got 100 streams, and all of a sudden, like, you're deflated because you don't think you achieved anything. Okay. And that's why it's very important not to think about this as a process of releasing one track, but a process of releasing the 10th track. You're looking at the process down the road. What will you have achieved after the 10th track? Okay. And so this whole process is about giving you information, knowledge, but it's also about training you to get into the habit of what to do when, and a process and a system. because if you don't look at it as a system, then it just becomes really overwhelming and too much information and too much knowledge and stuff like that. And that's why your system is going to be different to everybody else's, because everybody's in a different place. Now, one really cool website that I came up with, or that I discovered, and I don't know if you guys have checked it out yet, was this website called release.cdbaby.com. Yeah. And so it's awesome because it actually takes you through the whole process of choosing what you want to do for your release. Yeah. So I'm just going to run through. I'm going to run through it here, and we'll just use this as a tool, because it's not the ultimate tool. You're still going to refer back to your master document, but you can use this as just a very cool resource. So it says what's good about it is puts everything into a sort of a timeline, which you can then add to your master document or not. So let's see, it says here, do you have your release ready? And you're going to say yes. Is this your target of your release date? So say if we said the next release, I think, is going to be for Moshi anyway, the 28th of May. Is this your first release? You're going to say no, whatever it is. Let's start Moshi Halperin and Moshi Halperin music at gmail.com, and then plan my release. Cool, and that's as easy as it is. And then it's cool. It gives you like some really good sort of dates to target, right? So you got key dates at a glance. Sign up for distribution by April the 30th. Okay, so that gives you a target there. Get your music delivered to platforms by May the 14th. Okay, well, that's nothing to do with you, but that's to do with your distributor. Create Spotify pre-save by May the 15th. Claim or update streaming profiles by May the 16th. Pitch your music to Spotify by May the 17th. Set up your smart link by May the 27th. And share your music on May the 28th. Okay, so great. It gives you really cool, and gives you some tips there. A lot of it is focused on CD Babies, using CD Babies tools, but you can still use it as just a general guideline. Okay. So that's really good.
What does it mean by set up your smart link, Samesh?
Your smart link is probably your link to your track, the released track. So it's probably just like a squeeze page.
Mm-hmm.
With there's the pre-save. Let's see the smart link. Let's see, update your Amazon music profile. So you also updating all your Spotify profiles, etc. It's got all those dates in. Get your lyrics on Instagram stories. So yeah, some really good tips in here. Pitch your music to Spotify. Get your smart link. Okay. With here now, your customized smart link can be created instantly. Gives you an attractive promo page. Directs fans to their preferred platform. So basically, instead of the pre-save link, the pre-save link is like a link that people can pre-save it on Spotify. That's it. The smart link is like a little one-page website that has all your social media platforms on. It's got your YouTube, your Facebook, and all the different platforms, or SoundCloud, where people can listen to that track on. So this is something that you'll set up your smart link, and it has actually the link to the track itself. So that's that there. And then official release date, that's it there. Update your online
Samesh?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
The smart link, is that like Linktree, or is it something different?
Yeah, it's like Linktree, but it's more targeted specifically to that track, that release.
Okay, I see.
So it's exactly like a Linktree, but just for that release,
Okay,
It's
cool.
not like a general, these are all my musical platforms. It's like, instead of your website link, it's like the link to that track on SoundCloud, the link to that track on Spotify. It's the link to that track on Bandcamp, the link to that track on Apple Music or wherever it is.
So it's across really all your music platforms. Yeah, cool. I got you.
Yeah. And it's good. So what they're just saying is that some people might not have Spotify, or might not want to listen to on Spotify, So they might want to listen to on YouTube, or basically giving them option of listening to the track on their preferred platforms. And then here it says, so after that, you do your first week audit. Where's your music performing best? Release a supporting signal. So like some of these stuff you may or may not want to do. Obviously, they're promoting CD Baby as the distributor. Book your release party. So those are extra credits they're talking about. But this is a really good, a really good thing to do. And it'll give you some target dates, and that you can then take and put it in your release, your master document. But I still think it's important to come back to the master document and get all the information just in one place in a really easy to understand format. So yeah, so this is the master document for Little Bird, and some stuff I haven't done, some stuff I have. There's a social media post, the audio track credits, the Little Bird lyrics, the live performance credits, the track story. I've uploaded to DistroKid, I've created the pre-save link, I've updated the Instagram with a pre-save link, I've updated Facebook. To tell you the truth, that pre-save link isn't like, it hasn't done like absolutely amazing at the moment. I've got 428 unique visits, like 17 unlocked. It's not like performed absolutely amazingly. But that's the way sometimes they go. It's got a little advert on it that's been boosted. So, it's just making people aware. It's just every time they see it, whether they click on it or not, doesn't matter. It's just more, you also, it's an awareness process. So send a teaser video to Facebook. I've done that. I've sent a teaser video to Instagram, updated all the socials, sent out the pre-save email to the mailing list. So getting just people into the awareness that something's happening. And so on the day, then you can email them again. So on the launch day, this is the launch day. Yeah, check that the track is live. Contact by all your contacts by direct message. Live stream, and then you post 5 times on Instagram. And launch party. So you have your launch day sort of plan. Your post-launch day is releasing your official video. Day 2, release your lyric video. Day 3, releasing your live performance video. And then day 4, if you're going to do it, do a collab video. Okay, I'm just going to check out the chat here. Let's see. Maybe. Yeah, so in terms of the format for the launch and your release plans, that's why I said, that's why I did, I don't know if it made sense last week, but I did break the course into 3 different sections, yeah? And I think it was in, where is it? But basically I said to people, you can, first of all, in that the launch journey, that you should look at your launch based on either you've never released a single before and you don't have an audience. So there's a particular sort of launch cycle for you for that. The second one was like you might have a fan, you might have some audience out there, but you've never released music. And then I think the third one was like you have released music and you have a fan and an audience. So if you're in each of those, one of those 3 places, you'll have there'll be a different way to go about exit, or like, sort of approaching the course. So yeah, the 3-tier courses were beginners, intermediate, and advanced. That's sort of what I was talking about. Yeah, CD Baby's podcast is really good. Exactly. Every time I listen to that podcast, I learn something. It's amazing.
What's it called, Samesh? Is it the
CD
DIY
Baby.
musician one?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really good. The name of the platform, release.cdbaby.com. Yeah, that's right there. Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good podcast. Out of all the podcasts, I think, you know, in terms of independent musician, that's probably, I don't know, the one I've listened to the most and the one I've had the best value out of. So
I can't find one that's called CD Baby Samesh.
or
Can just.
DIY musician.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks.
Let's see, where am I? Any other questions? Just put them in the chat there. That'd be cool. Okay. So we're gonna I'm just gonna talk for a bit and then we'll open up to more questions. But if you have any questions that was, you know, come up for you right now, then just add them to the chat. I'm just gonna share my screen again. Okay, so I think it's really important to add a calendar to your master document. So instead of just putting things there, just actually have the dates of when you're going to do what. Okay, really important. The different distributors, a couple of things I thought about, like you know, the two ones that I know the most, obviously CD Baby and DistroKid. And I think with CD Baby, you pay per track or you pay per album. But that's the difference than DistroKid. I think you either pay per month or you pay per year. I'm not sure. But with CD Baby, I would probably do CD Baby if money wasn't an issue, and you can pay per single, because just the amount of resources and stuff and support and stuff you get from CD Baby is pretty cool.
Samesh, can I ask?
Yeah.
Would you then recommend CD Baby over DistroKid?
Personally, I probably would. Although I've never personally done anything on CD Baby. Just the amount of you know, the amount of support and stuff they give you, and the amount of tools that are available and training, they just seem to be like really good.
Okay, cool.
So if you know, if I didn't have a problem with paying per track, I would personally do that myself.
Right.
Okay, so buddy time. I'm just going to, I don't know whose buddy was whose buddies, but we'll do a buddy change. And I'm just going to write everybody on a piece of paper, and then I tell you what, maybe if anybody who's Joy, you're sort of in the in an office there in some respects, aren't you? What, are you busy with something? Oh, you don't have vocal. Okay. Just, is anybody want to volunteer to write out the names, tear them up, and then we can do like draw the hat. If you've got a piece of paper and a pen, then I can carry on talking instead of wasting your time. Tallulah will do it. Yay! Thanks, Tallulah. So Tallulah, just go to the participants list and just get a list of all the people there. And I think in body yoga, I think that is Lena. So just get a list of people on there. And then if you can remember any of the others, let's try to do everybody at the same time. So just make a list of people and would tear up into little squares, or maybe number it or something like that. And then we can just do a draw of the hat and change people's buddies for the last 3 weeks. Okay, the royalties discussion, that's a big discussion. And PRS. Let me just check in with Martin. Martin, are you still there?
Yep.
You've got a lot of experience in royalties and PRS and all that type of thing, right?
Some.
do you feel proficient enough to do like a little video or a little, you know, sort of talk?
I could say a few words about it now.
Can we do it later? Can we do it?
All right.
But yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Let me just run through this, and then you can give us your take on the whole thing. Yeah, is that good?
Yep.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. Live streaming. I think it would be good to, everybody, super important that you get used to live streaming. If you're going to be an artist in 2021 and you want to grow a fan base, this is a massive part of your strategy on how to access fans and how to sort of build your audience. And I'm talking about live streaming like once a week, going live. Doesn't have to be like a full concert, but just half an hour, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, but regular live streaming. Okay. And you're not just live streaming for the sake of live streaming. You're live streaming and you can have a tip jar and be like super professional about it. And then you can use those recordings, you can put them on your YouTube channel, etc., etc. But I think live streaming is a massive opportunity still, even though people have come out of lockdown. It's still a massive opportunity. People are using Instagram and Facebook way more and more since the lockdown. So people have been are using social media far more. So you have to have some type of social media strategy, and part of your social media strategy should definitely involve live streaming. So get onto it. I know Tallulah is doing a concert coming up, eh? Is that right? Yeah, fantastic. So music release plans, these were the different plans on the course. And I just want to see if I've got one open here. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So here's a 21 day plan, and this is from, let's see. Yeah, I can go up there. Okay. So this is from Damien Keys. It's a 21 day plan ebook, and it's in the course, so you can just download it whenever you want. It's a 21 day plan. And so I'm just going to run through this quickly, and you can sort of tick it off in your head. This is the basics of what you need for your release, your single, your social banners, don't worry about the giveaway prize, you can. Behind the scenes video, single artwork, photo shoot, acoustic video, collab video, official music video, press release, performance video, lyric video. So that's his whole strategy is basically revolves around videos, yeah? Because everybody is like a multi-sensory, the multi-audio sensory sort of experiences. That's what they're pushing these days. And so on the release day, first you need to decide on your release day. Okay. It says Friday is the day that bloggers, creators, and playlisters plan their work around. That's why we always focus on a Friday. Music videos, the way we consume music videos is not used to. With this 20, we are going to use a music video strategy where you're creating as many videos as possible to attach your music to. Some examples would be a lyric, acoustic, unofficial, behind the scenes, live. So that's his strategy, is just you make as many different types of videos as you can and you attach your music to it. You can also double up on your music content by posting teasers of them in the weeks leading up to the release, okay? So that's the main strategy, is focused around these videos. When you want to start implementing your 21 day plan, so you start 6 weeks before, and then he's got some stuff to run there. 5 weeks before, 4 weeks before, 3 weeks before, 2 weeks before the 21 day plan begins. Because it's 2 weeks, it's 14 days before the launch date, and then one week afterwards. Okay. So I'm not going to go through everything there, but that's another really good resource. And again, you're going to take the information from here, and then you're going to put it on your master plan. Okay. And that's when I can help you. I can really help you if I go to your master plan and I can see like where you are, like that is like the big plan for your release, huh? The master plan. That's why it's called the master plan. And then from there we can sort of work out like what because it's everything together on one document. We can work out where you are with everything, right? And you can work out where you are. You know exactly where you are in your plan. And so as long as you're following your plan, you know you're doing everything you need to do. So there shouldn't be any stress in the process. Okay. So that's that there. And then, okay. So those music release plans, they're all in the course. And here they are. There's loads of different ones as well. So you can just go through them if you want to, and take the time to check each one out. There's loads of different plans from different teachers and stuff, but those are 4 good ones. Released at cdbaby8.com, I showed you there. The song release master documents. So, and also the way to like sort of put this in your head is your music release process is 4 stages. You've got the pre-launch, the preparation, the pre-launch, implementation. The launch is really the 48 hours surrounding your launch, and then you have a post-launch process. Okay, so if you divide that in your head, that helps you sort of manage the complexity of the process. Okay, so you always know where you are. Okay, right now I'm in the pre-launch preparation process, which is probably from 6 weeks to 4 weeks. Those 2 weeks is your preparation. You're getting your track ready, making sure it's mastered, starting to get all your images and all your social media banners and stuff like that ready, getting your videos ready. Your implementation is that now you're implementing, you're posting your stuff, you're updating your socials, etc. Your launch is the day of the launch and the day after. That's what you're doing over that period. It's really important. Everything is focused on those 2 days, because those are the days that your music is live and you have the option to spike those algorithms. And then you've got a post-launch process, which is from the 3rd day. So you've got the day of the launch, day 1, day after the launch, day 2. From day 3 onwards, another week, you're in a post-launch process. And this is where you keep on posting different videos. And you also do your thank yous, stuff like that, okay? Case study, that's what we've done. When I said the journey planner, I mean, you're going to be, depending on where you are, your journey is going to be completely different. Like I said, if you're just starting out, you don't have an audience, you're going to have a very different journey to somebody who's got a massive audience, who has, or any type of audience, and has released tracks in the past. Then questions, okay. So yeah, so I think at this stage it'd be nice to ask, or let's see, Tallulah, did you get those names done? Great, okay. So let's get Tallulah, if you don't mind. Can you you're allowed to, you can unmute yourself. So drum roll.
Number 1.
Drum roll.
We have Richard.
Richard
and Vicky.
Okay, Richard and Vicky.
Drum roll again. We have Lydia. And Lena.
Nice.
And then we have Aura. And Shazia. Asha. Oh, I didn't put my name in. Sorry. Sorry. Just remember that, because I remember that I wanted to call Asha. So Asha and Nalini. Me and Sunny.
Nice, and Sunny.
Charlotte. And Maya.
Awesome.
M&S, just Scott and Maria, are they supposed to be separate, or are they together?
No, they're together.
Okay. Scott and Maria.
Yeah.
Dum. Darren Ellis.
Yeah.
And then we have Joy and Lucy.
Joy and Lucy.
And now some paper for my wood burner.
Cool.
Anyone else not called called
Oh,
out?
Oh yeah,
I don't think
Martin. What about
Martin.
Martin?
Martin.
Martin. Yeah, who else? Who are we missing? Are we missing anybody? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 with Martin.
So we did 3. Then we split Maria and Scott last time.
Yeah. So let's split Maria. So Martin, why don't you go with Maria? That'd be good.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So
Yeah, that's great. That's
Scott
great. Thank you.
will go with Darren. Awesome. Okay, well done, everybody. You've got your new buddies. Can you just I have put most of the contact details in the course. Otherwise, just contact them individually and arrange. So I think with the buddies, it's just it's good to have that check-in moment, So almost like a mentorship type thing. It's just let's see how it works. I think are you guys finding it valuable so far? I'm going to gallery mode so I can see everybody's name. Martin's finding it valuable. Tallulah's finding it valuable. Good. Okay. Great. And Lydia's finding it valuable on the train. The wonders of modern technology. Sunny's finding it valuable. Okay, great. Okay, cool, guys. So, Martin, do you want to give us a quick rundown of royalties?
Royalties, yes. I'm not an expert, but I've witnessed this from over many years. So we got 3 basic royalty streams that we're likely to encounter. There's if you're writing a song, or either written the melody or the words, you're going to be entitled to publishing royalties. And it used to be that it was just the top line and the lyrics were part of were the sole songwriter's domain. So if you've written records or the arrangement, that was not a part of publishing. However, there have been recent court cases which have changed that. So if you put a particular motif or an arrangement or something in, there are grounds for claiming that. So just to be kind of aware that that is open to the publishing is also open to arrangers now. But that needs to be kind of negotiated. There's no automatic arrangers part of the publishing royalties. The publishing royalties are collected traditionally by the publishers. You don't need to have a publisher to do this. You can go straight to your royalty distribution agency. In the UK, that's the Performing Rights Society, or the PRS. If you do, they say, last time I looked, you need a couple of tracks released before they'll sign you up. But in my experience, I think if you just give them a call and say, look, I'm making money on this, do you want to, can I sign up? And they'll say, all right, if it's worth their while, they'll sign you up. They collect a percentage. I can't remember how much it was, but it's it's a reasonable, it's a fair chunk of the royalties, and they'll collect from all the streaming services and the radios and the TVs and the film people, and send that back to the publisher, which then send it to the artist. But if there isn't a publisher, it sends or the songwriter, it sends it straight to the songwriter. If your track is performed in another territory, for instance, like in Germany, the local collections agency, which is GEMA there, will collect it, then send it to the PRS, will then send it to you. So there's two cuts taken away from your royalty before you get it. So if you have a particularly strong market, might be the States, might be Germany or UK or something, it's worth considering signing up with the local agency rather than just the one that you just happen in the country you happen to live in. So just worth bearing that in mind. In America, it's ASCAP, BMI, and I can't remember what the third one is. You can look it up. So those are the the publishing royalties. They're as we discussed a couple of weeks ago. If you're doing a cover, you're not obliged to ask permission for. So if something's already been released, you need to. You're allowed to release something. There, we had quite a long discussion about the ethics of that. But legally, you're allowed to do a cover. If it hasn't been released, you do need to get permission from the writer before you do so. Again, we discussed that a couple of weeks ago. The second stream of royalties is from the mechanical royalties. So this is from the owner of the master. So when you recorded your song, or you were part of the recording, who paid for it? And so there can be the producer. I mean, traditionally it's the record company. The record company will hire the studio, give you an advance against royalties, pay for the musicians, and they will own the master. If we don't have a record company, then it's who's paid for it. And it's likely to be you, because you probably paid for the studio and you probably paid the musicians. And so you will own the master recording. If you haven't paid for musicians, you do need to make sure that there is some agreement in place, so that they don't come knocking on your door later on and saying, "Oh, I'm entitled to a part of the master recording, the mechanical royalties." So do get everything signed off. If you're in the musicians union, if you're a member, they have template agreements for all these kind of things. I've probably got one somewhere, I should think. So the mechanical royalties, and it seems like when you're doing streaming services, Spotify will split the royalties between the publisher and the mechanical royalties owner. I think it's a 50-50. I just had a quick look, and this implies it is. Now, and there's a third form of royalty stream which a lot of people have missed out on. And this is covered by PPL, performance, what's that stand for? Performance something licensing in the UK. And this is if you just played on something, you're entitled to a royalty if it's played on the radio or the TV or on a film or whatever. So this is a third organization. So go and have a look at PPL. There's I think it's about something like 10% or something of the money that let's just figure off the top of my head, I'm not sure if that's right, of the money that the radio station, for instance, would have to pay in order to play the tune would go to the musicians involved. And so I believe that it's going to split equally. So like if you have had an orchestra on your track, then you're not going to get so much, because the second flautist is going to get as much as you, even if you're the lead singer. But if there's just a bunch of you, then you're all signed up, and you can get it might be like 4 in the band or something like that. And whoever signed up on PPL will get a share of those royalties. And they can be quite reasonable, so it's not something to be overlooked, and it's something that musicians have traditionally not been aware of. In Germany, it's GVL. As in the UK, it's PPL. I don't know what it is in the States. But if you look up those organizations, and if you want a local agency, then I'm sure you can find the local equivalent. So, I mean, those are the main income streams that you should be aware of. Any questions?
Yes, I've got a question for you, Martin. So one of the things that has been confusing me regarding which distributor to go with has been around the fact that DistroKid, for example, doesn't collect any streaming royalties, whereas CD Baby or AWOL do. And so one of the conversations was, is there an incentive to go with a distributor that does that if PRS is actually already doing that? And the only thing that I can see that would incentivize you to go with a distributor that does do that is because they would pitch you for sync licenses.
Yes, I have no experience of that, so I think you'd have to sort of dig into it and work out the percentages. So we haven't spoken about sync licenses. I mean, that's not royalties, but that is I mean, I should probably tag that on the end of this conversation, shouldn't I? So a lot of musicians are woken up to the fact that there's money to be made with synchronizing your track to moving images. So it'd be a TV or a film, all the sort of videos that aren't using royalty-free music online will be wanting music, and it can be yours. And sync fees can vary from, I mean, you can get, it might be €100 or something like that. If it's a Coca-Cola ad or something, you might be getting 50,000 or something like that as a fee for using your track on an advert. So these it used to be easier money, I think, when people were waking up to, before people woke up to it. But the competition is quite fierce now. But it is definitely an avenue for pursuing. There's lots of agencies you can go to who will take your music and present it to the synchronization agencies. Zinc, ZYNC, I think it is. One particular one in the States, something that do really cool music. But it's so you can picture yourself. It's again, so there's a lot of hard work involved in that. But if you're sitting, but that might be worth doing if you're thinking that's where your music's going to find an audience, is through synchronization. It might be worth looking to that, but that's a whole other course. There's people doing online courses on how to do that. There was what's her name? So somebody doesn't know how to build a 6-figure income. I think her course was called. I'm trying to remember what her company's called. Can't remember. It'll come to me. So yes, there are agencies. So you can do it yourself. There's agencies for doing it, and there are a few websites. I've had a punt on one website and never got anything. lots of tracks up there, lots of little instrumentals or something like that, and nothing's ever come of it. So it's quite fierce, but it's definitely worth something to consider. That might be your form of income, and I'm a bit old school, so I'm not seeing how all these sort of these news opportunities interlace with distributors and Spotify and people like that. So I'd have to sort of back off and leave it to people who've researched it a bit more and how all that's working currently. Any more questions that I might be able to answer? Yeah, MCPS is the Mechanical Copyright Protection Society, which deals with mechanical royalties in England, and is allied with the PRS. So you only have to. I think you only have to make one application to join the PRS MCPS.
Okay, so you don't have to sign up to both.
I don't believe so. They merged a while ago. I joined years ago separately, but I think they merged now.
Okay, thanks.
Martin, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you have to pay for MCPS?
I don't believe so. No, I think I just take a cut. I don't remember ever having to fork out money for them.
I've never fully understood the role of MCPS.
So they're collecting. Yes, they're collecting mechanical royalties and distributing to the mechanical copyright owners. So mechanical copyrights, yes, there's some of the money comes from, like when you're selling something to a film, so it's not just a sync license. I'm a bit fuzzy on this, so I'm not going to talk too much about it because I might start talking rubbish. I haven't seen an MCPS royalty check for many years, so probably because I haven't been involved in any records that sold for years. I still see PRS, but I don't see MCPS.
I know that when I tried to sign up with them at one point, I don't think I was in the, it felt like it wasn't the right time because they were asking for me to already have like a business name. Like so I had to be more of a company, had to have a bit more legality behind me to join them. And I thought at that point, oh, maybe not, you know, not big enough yet, not something I need to think about. So that was my impression of them at that point.
I mean, as far as I know, you can just give yourself a business name. You don't need to be registered at Companies House or anything. You can be Scott and Maria Music or something like that, I believe.
I thought I had to have like a bank account, you know, like do the whole business, set up an actual business, like officially. Okay.
I can say something about that just from a business owner's point of view. If you're a sole trader, which you would be as a musician, you don't need to register your business or have a bank account. Your name is just like your trading name. So your trading name would be Scott and Maria. And that's your business name. And the only place you would ever communicate that officially is when you do your tax return. It would be your trading name for HMRC, and that's it.
Yeah, you muted, Scott, Maria.
Was that Aura?
No, that was Lena. Sorry, I'm on my phone at the moment.
Thanks, Lena.
That's okay.
Cool. Anybody else got another question for Martin? Thanks, Martin. That's awesome.
Oh, maybe me. Sorry. Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me put the video. I wanted to also ask around when they're internationally, you know, how you work internationally, because I thought like you have to have like one, you only register with one royalty company in the world, but and most of the times they are well connected, they should be, but I'm not sure like if, do you think, because for example, I do a lot of things in Mexico where I come from as well, and I'm not so sure, I'm registered only here in the Netherlands, but I'm not sure if it's convenient for me also to register in both countries, or like how do you do that if you do things in different places? Or
yes, I'm not sure it makes sense registering in 2 places. It might do, I think. But I mean, there is something to be said about transferring your royalty collection agency to your main territory. As a friend of mine who was he now lives in Germany, but he used to be based in the UK, and so he's registered with GEMA, which is the Germany Royalty Collection Society, and it is cheaper that way. So you can just look at that, look at the percentages they're taking on the way. I'm sure there'll be somewhere on the website, or you can ask on an email and just find. So you might be giving away 20% more than you need to.
Because I have the feeling that it's supposed to be connected, but I don't think it is really so much. Like, I did a lot of things in the radio there, and it of course didn't show up at all here or something.
It does take a long time to filter through. I mean, it takes 18 months or something before, even in a well-oiled system. They should be connected now. I'd be surprised if there's, unless maybe if you got getting played in North Korea or something, you're not going to see the royalty there. But I think, I mean, even Azerbaijan, so, yeah, the agent they should communicate. I'd be surprised if there's, unless there's some terrible corruption going on, the royalties are disappearing somewhere. I mean, sometimes it's worth chasing the agencies up. A few times I've been on the phone saying, "Oh, this has been played and I haven't seen this," and they can investigate it for you, and there can be glitches in, so it's not necessarily automatic.
And they can never really go back in time, huh? Also, they can even from the time only you register actually.
Yes, I don't think. Yes, things that are royalties that are unclaimed. I think they just go into a pool and get divvied out in between the artists. So so Justin Bieber will get your royalties because he's got the lion's share of the writing or whatever. So yes, it's worth being on the ball with these things. I mean, PPL will hang on to performance royalties for a while, a few years. So if something was, I think it's like 4 or 5 years or something like that. So it's worth getting on the case and just seeing, if there were songs you played on that have got played on, performed, things can surprisingly resurrect themselves. And you're unaware that you'll see something you sang on or played on is a real hit been hit in China or something.
Yeah,
worth checking.
because that's I mean, I don't want to take much time, but for example, if I played in some CDs, that actually had a very wide distribution digitally and internationally, but I never got paid for it. And actually, I mean, I was improvised. So when you improvise, you are also considered an author. And I never really registered it, or never. It was a problem of not having a clear agreement, actually. So I'm just thinking, like, before I approach the person directly, because I thought like it should have been, at least they should have, contacted me or something. I just wonder, like, how does it stand in their royalty wise on the rights? What can you claim something that has been already published and you were not? I mean, my name is there, but it didn't really never registered or something.
So as far as performance royalties for PPL, PPL will respond to the main artist or the people who have the contract. So you do need to. You can't go to the PPL and say, "No, look, that's me. No, it's give me my share." You need to go through the artist and say, "Oh, look, do you think you could just confirm that I was actually performing on that?" And unless you got an invoice or a contract or something, but you say you don't.
No, didn't. No, but they did acknowledge it. My name is in the credits, and my name is all written in all the. Actually, if you look at the tracks, there my name is there. But they've been selling the tracks, and I never received nothing. Not also. So that's just what I was wondering. Like,
yeah, they might take that. I know they changed. They tightened up on the rules a little while ago. So I'm not sure. It could be that a credit on the album's sleeve or something will do. I can't remember, but they made it a little bit harder for you to claim performance royalties recently. And of course, the other thing, if you're improvising, then actually you're a part of the composition as well.
Yeah, that's how it is here in the Netherlands. If you improvise, if you create, let's say, your own thing, then it should be like you are considered also like a part of the. It's not only performance, but it's also part of the composing, actually, the creative composing.
And yes, and there's no sort of set split for that in my experience. So that should be negotiated. Really, I don't know if are you on good terms with the.
But I haven't spoken with them for years. I mean, I was upset, of course, because we were friends, and the idea was to make an album together. And he released it on his name, and I never heard from him again. So, of course, it's not a nice story. But I mean, I waited to see, okay, maybe let me see how he reacts with time. And since I didn't hear anything, I was just wondering, like, okay, since it has been, especially because it has had a long reach, I thought, like, okay, maybe it's worth just communicating with him about it or something.
You can also just to jump in, if you contact PRS or PPL, this happens so often that they're fairly good at. They'll give you some really good advice, and if he's listed you on the track code, when you Google the title of the album, if you're actually listed on there, then just include that track code, those track codes when you contact PRS or PPL. But they're pretty good at helping with these kind of things. So
yeah. Okay, thanks. Yeah, thank you.
I think everyone I know who's been in the business has got stories like that. I've got a few I could share, but I won't bore you with them. And for me, the best thing is to use that energy of sort of, is to use that as a thing to propel you to your next step. it's a useful energy. This frustration and anger, because you can do better. You're a creator, so you can create even better stuff now.
Yeah, and also it's a lesson to have clear agreements beforehand.
Absolutely, yeah.
Also. Okay.
And also just wondering, you were talking last time, Aura, about your name and the spelling of it, and just to make sure that actually that hasn't caused an issue, and that maybe he has been paying, but it's been going somewhere else, or just
no.
just wishful thinking.
Yeah, I wish, but no.
Can I ask you guys, I have collaborated with quite a few musicians on the album I'm making, and I've obviously paid them their rate for sometimes rehearsal, but certainly for their day of recording. And I'm so new to this, I didn't realize, I didn't even consider royalties. So would you recommend that I think you was just saying I draw up some kind of paperwork around that now and get them to, I don't know how to start with all this, to be honest.
I mean, if you paid them as musicians, then they're only entitled to the PPL, which will come to them automatically. It's not something you need to arrange.
Okay.
So yes, that you don't have to do that. If you got the sort of, if you say, I will provide musical services for your tune for £100 or whatever like that, then you should if the agreement says all the right things, then you should be sorted.
Do they not need to fill out the, Martin, don't they need to fill out, the music union, those forms that you get that have the...
Yes.
Have you done that with them, Lydia?
No, I didn't even know about this. So this is what I'm asking. I guess the music union forms, I guess I can download them and send them on to them, or just, yeah.
They come as, so the music union forms, they still do them like this, is that basically it's like it's a form which has 3 layers to it. So there we go, as beautifully shown by Martin. And basically it's like a carbon copy. So you fill in the top and that creates a duplicate for all the others. And you take the top sheet and then the others get the other sheets from that form, basically. And you all have to sign it off and stuff. But basically you can, on there it writes like what they've done, whether they were paid, whether there's a PR, a royalty split, or whether it's just, as Martin says, PPL, performance collection sort of stuff. But yeah, get that sorted before you release the track, the album, for sure.
Great, and it's Music Union. Maybe I'll ask again for the link, maybe on the thread on the Telegram thread. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
And that also asks Aura, I think you were asking about that as well. That applies to your question. There was somewhere about you were asking for that.
Yeah, it will be really helpful actually if they have the link for that.
Cool.
Can you download the forms online?
I think they send them out to you, because it's like, it's not just one sheet, it's like 3 sheets or 4 sheets that are all stuck together, if that makes sense. So it's like a carbon sheets. Don't know how to explain that.
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah.
I mean, the last one I did is 12 years ago, so that's a while ago, but that's all there. Yeah.
And that's through the Musicians Union.
That's, yes. I mean, this looks like something I printed. This is Atomic Kitten. There you go. Didn't produce a track for them. Yeah, so it looks like I just printed that off.
Yeah, maybe you can just print them off now. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's how they used to do it.
Do you have to be with the Musicians Union, like signed up? Is that something? I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah.
I just stopped being a member. So I think you probably do to do that agreement. I mean, if you're a union member, you're not meant to record with other union members. I mean, they might have changed that rule, but that was the whole point of the union. Is it's a solidarity, so that you don't get ripped off as members. That's sort of been a bit lax over the years. I don't know if they changed the rules or whether it's they just don't bother pursuing that anymore.
What's that? You're not supposed to record with other union members.
With non-union members. So you're all meant to be in the everyone's in the orchestra. So no one gets sort of does it for free, and so everyone can go and pay their bills at the end of the day.
So Martin, does that mean that I have to join the music union?
I don't think so. I think you just want to get a contract. They have rights, and you just need to get them to assign those rights to you. They performing right. So that you own their recording, the recording of their performances.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, we've collaborated on our first album and on our later EP with musicians, and it's always been a verbal agreement. It's always been an agreed fee, and that's it. So I don't think it's the end of the world if we don't do the form, but I think I'd like to go through the process because it's kind of good to have that. It's almost like a receipt of having paid a musician as well, for both sides. It sounds like.
It also makes it just really clear if this track becomes really successful, and then there's like a very clear back end way of distributing the monies that come in.
Yeah, we always, with all the musicians we've worked with or worked for, it's always been kind of a verbal agreement, like, if this track does well, obviously we can all just get, sit back and get something from the royalties. So it can be a verbal agreement.
So I mean, like when it's written, it means that actually in PRS or like digitally, it's already in place, so that it just means that as soon as that track is successful, in the back end digitally, it's already working out your splits.
Okay.
So it just happens. That's what I mean. It just happens in a streamlined kind of way.
So documented in the system.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Then otherwise, I had an experience once when something happened like this, and then we had to kind of like backdate, and then like different people were trying to kind of catch something that had already happened, a bit like what is happening. So it was just a little bit disorganized. It was fine, but it was just the more organized you can be in advance.
Do you reckon if that document hasn't gone through the system, that musician, if they're not signed up to PRS, for example, like a drummer or a bass player, if they're not signed up to PRS, they might miss out on royalties for performing on the record?
Yes.
If they performed on the record, they're not entitled to PRS, but they are entitled to PPL.
Okay.
I mean, unless they wrote the song, unless there's an agreement. I mean, like you often find bands will agree ahead that all the composer, all the publishing just gets split equally, and that it avoids a lot of headache. There's Lennon McCartney. They just said, oh, we'll split it equally. Even if Yesterday might have been Paul McCartney. It's still a Lennon McCartney composition, because they thought, we're not going to fight over this. We're just going to just split it equally, and then we'll let the music flow and not get stuck in percentages.
Yeah. Scott and I always just put 50-50 on any document we sign, just like with writing. If it's to do with writing with somebody, it would, you'd put down the split.
There's a system I was doing with when I was trying to chase sync music, with three of us working at it, and we all kind of trusted each other, and there wasn't much in it. So we had a spreadsheet, and when we finished the recording, we put down what we generally thought our contributions were, and then if there was some conversation, we'd thrash it out there and then. So there was a spreadsheet with it might be 23%, 17%, and 60% or whatever like that. And so that's in a document. So if the money comes in later, we haven't got to fight about it later, and that worked for us, but it might not work for everyone.
Oh, also, Martin, I just remembered with Aura's question, when I do the online PRS form for a track, there's a section where you choose if it goes for distribution, if it gets played in the US, it gives you a US option, like the people you were mentioning, BMI, and the other one.
ASCAP and what's the other one? Remember, BMI and ASCAP are the.
Yeah, it gave us this option, and I never noticed it before in this recent release. And
CSAC.
Yeah, so they're already doing that with America PRS, that they're also giving you a pre-save option for who will deal with your royalties if you get played in America. Strange, it's only America.
It's still the biggest market, I think, yeah.
Okay, now I'm really overwhelmed.
Can I ask another question? What happens if you have somebody featuring on a track, so they haven't written it? So I'm guessing like with Moshe and Nessie Gomez, like what happens if someone's just featured on it, but they're not a session musician? They're named on the track.
I suppose it depends, you know, were they paid for it? If they weren't paid for it, then they still have rights. Because, but if there's no money in it, then they'd have to thrash it out and see, you know, how they want to split it. But if there was a fee involved, saying, well, it's my tune and I'll give you, you know, a couple €100 or whatever for the rights of your performance, then the person who paid for it owes the mechanical royalties. And again, the guesting artist would still be entitled to PPL because you can't take that away from them, but they wouldn't be entitled to any mechanical royalties, which would be come from Spotify, for instance.
Okay, so you can kind of decide between you how you want to do it. They either get a cut of the royalties or you pay them.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, thanks.
I think, I just want to add as well to this that, I don't want to scare also people that once you work with a musician that they will come up after and say, hey, like claim the track or something like that. You know, I think that it's just a matter of making some kind of agreement, and of course it's a thing of trust, no? And if you because as a musician, if I get paid, for example, then for me, I don't even think about royalties, to be honest, later on, which I know I could in the as performer, no, but what I mentioned in this case was more like just a very kind of extreme, no, that you had an idea that you are doing something with someone in one way, and then it goes out a little bit different, and also like how. Yeah, what are the possibilities then to you know, to have the rights as in that case, but I think I work with so many people also, recorded for so many people, and even if it is a very small amount of money, or if they tell me in advance, look, I'm just trying something out and I just want to make some music, and you just record it, and as long as you know that you can help also other people if they're just releasing their music without money or something, and it's just a matter of having it's where morality kind of plays also a little bit of a role, not to have some kind of consideration as well, especially when maybe you record something that is not just a home thing or a personal kind of track, but then you see it maybe published commercially or something, and those are the moments that I think that it can be confusing, no? When there's like when the ideas change and there is no communication or something like this.
I guess when you do something out of just like a, you know, like a fun thing, or just something you're sharing something, and then all of a sudden it becomes like a top 100 or a massive hit or something, then you have to go back to that person, then try work out what the agreement would have been or was, because, you know, if that person is the one that published the music and it suddenly blows up and they're getting loads of money from it, and then you're going to feel somehow, you know, that you should share in that, and you'd hope that that musician at that stage is you know, has got integrity and sort of, you know, can, you know, compensate you for your part. I guess when they don't, or maybe you've fallen out with them or you haven't been in touch, then it can become more complicated, because then you have to, you know, negotiate a contract that, you know, that happened in the past, right?
So, hello.
Hi.
Hi, I've got something to say about this. There's just actually been written an open letter by a woman called Mimi Page on this exact issue that was totally...
Oh, you just cut out, Nalini.
You got your hand on the speaker?
Oh shit, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. He, Bass Nectar, very, very big bass music producer on the west coast of the States. He's just been outed as a predator and stuff, so there's a lot of energy going towards him. And then Mimi Page has just come out saying that she co-wrote this amazing track that's one of his biggest tracks. We're talking about 8 million streams on Spotify, 6 million, 8 million on YouTube, and he basically gave her the credit of like featuring Mimi Page and not credited her as actual like producer credit. She should be actually getting equal royalties to him. Just bringing this up because this happens, you know, at all levels, and she's just basically written a very interesting letter, an open letter that you can go on her page and read. Her name is Mimi Page, and I learned a lot just by the letter of like what, you know, the people's rights are and how important it is before you sign anything, because then the track blew up and became very successful, but they already made the contract. So he's just saying, oh, well, you're not going to get any more because that's done and dusted. So it's really important when you make that contract not to get bullied or take less than what you think. And yeah, so everyone just thought she was a featuring artist like the singer, but she was actually co-producer, but just not. And apparently this happens a lot in the music business.
I think it happens to everyone. I was just to say, I could give you two good stories. I could have bought a house out of a big house out of something that I should have been that I should have claimed for. So,
ooh. Not with the beloved.
No, the London Beat, the big hits, London Beat. That was it was all my arrangement and my chords and something. And so the top line and the melody was someone else's, but it was a point where the arrangers were getting publishing income. So like there's the four guys who sang on it got all the publishing, and I got a producer's royalty through the record company, but I wasn't on the publishing for that, which I think I was entitled to. Yeah, we all got these stories, so yeah. So be clear.
I really recommend the Musicians Union. I really dodged a bullet by being part of Musicians Union because you get so much free legal advice. I was assigned somebody before I almost lost 30% of publishing rights of what is my best-selling song, Circle of Women, because a producer who will remain nameless wanted me to sign a song assignment of 30% publishing to him for doing like basically a new version of my song, which luckily I checked out because I was part of the Musicians Union, that would be giving him 30% of every single version of Circle of Women in perpetuity, which didn't feel fair because he hadn't got written any of it. He'd just made a new version. And then thanks to me being part of the Musicians Union, we were able to negotiate a deal. It was just such good one-to-one coaching almost from the guy I was appointed to in the MU, and got a really good contract out of it, where I kept all my publishing, but we created like a sync agreement. So this producer's allowed to make sync deals for his version and owns half of the master right of his version, but he's not owning publishing of my song. But if I had been naive and not been part of the Musicians Union and not questioned things, I would have just signed this document and lost 30% of my song. So I do recommend the Musicians Union, especially Lydia. Like if something that you're really considering now before you release your album and want to just get clear with contracts, even just joining for 6 months so that you can get like the legal advice in itself is worth it.
They give you 1 hour per music contract free, and that's usually enough. So they'll say you need this, because they're doing it all the time. So, and you can go back with the points covered.
And I had hours of like back and forth with the guy before we made the contract. I mean, it was quite a long drawn out process to get the right contract. So it wasn't just the hour, it was a lot going into that before. Yeah, it was really good.
Does Martin, do you know about with remixes? So one of the projects that I work on is we do a lot of, so it's with a DJ, he does a lot of, he DJs a set and I sing vocals over the top. And so he's playing other people's tracks. They're all kind of ecstatic dance or dance kind of big tracks. And over the time of doing it together, I've written top line melodies over these tracks. So they're tracks that belong to other people, but they're really big name artists. And I'd really love to record my top line vocal onto these tracks that are instrumentals. So I've written to a couple of them trying to work out if that's possible. But I don't know what the kind of the legality of that is, because I know someone could take one of my tracks, and we had this conversation before, and then remix it and put it out, and but how does it work the other way around? Do you know?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's the original song, even as an instrumental, exists as an entity, and so I don't know how would that be like a mashup then? Which is that, you know, essentially, like, because you're adding new copyright.
Yeah, because you're adding kind of other parts to a track, an instrumental track that already exists. I don't know like, if that's even possible. If it's like,
I don't know.
That's like a remix, right?
Exactly. So it's like doing a remix. Yeah. So then, yeah, exactly. So if I'm doing a remix of someone else's track,
you're re-vocalizing it. You're doing it the other way around, because the remix is slightly simpler, because the people will look at it as a job of taking the melody and the tune and then putting some new instrumentation to it.
Yeah.
So the song doesn't get changed, but it just gets rearranged. But putting a new top line to it is I don't know how you'd approach that.
Okay.
Doesn't Nalini know this one? It's like a rewrite. Didn't somebody change your lyrics or like rewrite one of your songs?
Not officially. He didn't like record it, or it's not like gone that far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like I recorded it.
If someone here who's an instrumentalist like Joy or Aura, if you wrote a piece of music and you released it, and then someone took that piece of music and wrote a song, like a vocal melody over the top of it, have either of you ever had that experience?
No, I didn't. Not that somebody took that piece and just used the words, but I more with spoken word, actually, yes, that they use the music kind of like background, and then they do some but in that case they were also like I mean, it was always in communication, so there was no problem at all. So it's like, can I use your music? Of course. Like
I basically was channeling some really amazing stuff over an instrumental by Niels Frans, who I love, and I was like, I'd love to write to him and send him this this vocal thing, and maybe he'll like, of course I never have, but you know, it's something I'd always want to write and get permission from that person before releasing anything, obviously, but it was always like, oh, I wonder if I send him this, what he'd think, you know.
Also, I think it's very different if you just use it in a which I mean, officially in a performance. If it is a public place, you also officially you have to have permission, but still is different, and I think it has a different level of impact, let's say, than if you are recording it and publishing it. No, if you just have an event and you are just using a music and speaking or singing on top of that, it's very different that if you will record that and then that video you publish it, because then it's then.
So if I can just add something on that relates to that. If you're performing your own songs, you are entitled to performance royalties, even though you perform them. So if you've got your songs registered with your performance royalties, you should submit a performance list saying, I played these tunes. You on last Saturday, and that can amount to a reasonable income. So my friend in Germany is very on the case with this. So every time he does a gig, he'll submit his set list to the GEMA, and he sees that coming back in his royalties. One other question about producers. It depends what's in the agreement. So do the producers get a right, get a cut? It depends what they signed. So traditionally, producers would get some royalties from the record company, which would be taken out of the artist's royalties, typically 2 or 3% of the record, 3 or 4 sometimes. Yes, it depends. Depends whether it's big or not. I think these days producers tend to do it just more for a fee. So you've probably got more experience of that than me, having actually hired other producers. It's harder to sort of the royalties, of course, much less than they used to be. So I think producers just tend to take the money and run. But so make that clear what they're entitled to in the agreement.
Martin, you produced one of my all-time favorite songs, and it was the one I was trying to send you on Facebook, but for some reason it wasn't. It was us all in Tunbridge Wells at sunrise singing your song. We videoed it. It was lovely. Sun rising. Ooh, sunrise.
It just got revinyled a few months ago, so that's probably go get it on the. I'm going here. Get it on double thickness vinyl now. Remastered, 180 grand double heavyweight vinyl. That was my first first big production, and sort of back in '89.
Martin, I have a question on what you just mentioned about that you can register your own performances if you register your own set list.
Yes.
I knew about that, but I wonder then how does it work? Because I know that, for example, then venues, they do have to pay a percentage, of their like, how does it work if you are organizing yourself the event? Maybe you need to pay also some fees. Or
yeah, well, you should. Yeah, you should be if you're performing, like if you're a pizza chain or a venue, you should be paying your PRS license.
Yeah, exactly. And if you organize it yourself, and then you set the list, and they say, okay, but then you have to also pay
Yeah.
So how much is that convenient?
So in which case you might just not want to tell them.
I mean, I wonder, like, what is if you are the producer of the concert and you play your set list? I mean, where is the balance? No, like, where is it worth it? Let's say, like.
I would imagine that it's pretty similar, but you probably lose a little bit. When you yes, because yes, if you're doing a public performance, you should be paying your performance royalties. Actually, no, you probably do get more, because you think about all of the the restaurants and the bars and things, they've all got to pay PRS, so it probably does come back to you. It does come back in favour of the artist. And the kind of related to that, because when you're making a mechanical release, now you're making a CD or something, you should also be buying MCPS, mechanical copyright license, which would then, so that would go to the MCPS and the performers as well. So you should be buying MCPS codes. That's the ISRC codes, isn't it? I think.
Okay, I think we'll probably leave it at that stage. It's obviously a massive conversation.
Oh, Samesh,
Yeah.
you might know this one, but I thought everybody might enjoy this. It's a bit inspiring. I found the story quite emotional and like it really touched my heart. The story of Sugar Man. Does anybody know that movie, Sugar Man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of the young people on the course could really do with watching that as well, because I know it can be quite overwhelming, all the kind of business side of it, but you know, miracles do happen. And like, do you know the story? Because it involves South Africa.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, check out the movie Sugar Man.
It's an epic tale.
Oh, it's so
Just
amazing.
imagine if that happened to you.
Imagine. That's the thing with the music also. Like, I feel like it's really important to also look wider and not just think about UK. As an artist, when I used to tour, I discovered a whole world in Europe, like a whole different approach to music and attitude. So you could, as an artist, quite easily blow up in one country and
Europe,
earn an
where it's
income
at.
from. We pay attention to our the kind of like where people are listening to us on Spotify, and we'll target. Like Brazil was quite hot, Mexico, so we started targeting those places, you know, because they seem to like certain tracks. So that's another thing I wanted to share. Oh, and one more thing that might be quite handy. There's a cool podcast, new podcast called Women Twiddling Knobs, but it would be quite useful also for men. It's not just for women, but it's a woman who runs it, Isabel Anderson, and she's been doing the DIY musicians course for women, but Scott is also on the course with me, and we're doing it together, and we're gaining so much from her knowledge, because she's really made an income from just Spotify. She's just like a Spotify artist that blew up and is in the thousands for her production and for her tracks. She gets playlisted a lot, so she's just, yeah, amazing. I'll put the information in here, maybe. Yeah. Or shall I put it on the Telegram? Maybe I'll put it on the Telegram. I'll put it on the Telegram.
I'd appreciate it in the chat as well, if you don't mind, because I'm not on Telegram.
This is Sugar Man.
Can I just ask a question, guys?
Mm-hmm.
What is it true that England's going to really be out of lockdown on the 21st of, is on the summer solstice? Is England going out of lockdown?
No, I don't think you can rely on anything. The Nazis have a plan. They want you to think that we're going to go out of lockdown.
You don't think that might
Who
happen? Oh,
It's the official plan, but whether it works, we don't know.
We'll probably come out and then go back in again.
I think that's more likely. I think we will come out, but whether we'll stay out.
Yeah, you can leave your house if you take 3 jabs. It's a 3-jab you rule. And sing the national anthem, God Save the Queen.
I was just thinking it would be an amazing celebration at the Stones. I can't imagine how amazing it would be to be at Avebury or Stonehenge that day. Big mass gathering.
Probably be full of drunk people, eh? Usually is.
Check this out.
If ever there is an air of intrigue and mystery around a pop artist, it is around the artist known as Rodriguez.
We thought he was like the inner city poet. He was this wandering spirit around the city.
He's like a wise man, a prophet,
How many records do you think he sold in America?
In America, 6.
Born in the troubled city.
Well, it's still a bit of a mystery how the first copy of Cold Fact actually came to South Africa, but it spread very quickly. To many of us South Africans, he was the soundtrack to our lives.
Everybody I knew had his records.
That you can't
The message it had was be anti-establishment. Really, the first opposition to apartheid, they'll tell you that they were influenced by Rodriguez.
But nobody knew anything about him. He was a mystery.
Then we found out that he had committed suicide.
And a lot of people have different versions of the story.
He set himself alight on stage.
He reached down and pulled up a gun. I thought it'd make a good story. Find out how Rodriguez died.
There was nothing on the record to tell us who he was or where he was from. So we started looking quite deeply at the lyrics.
I met a girl in Dearborn.
We found him, we found him.
These are the days of miracles and wonder.
I heard he did like a little construction work.
He was really doing the work that no one else wanted to do. Rich in a lot of things, but perhaps not material things.
I said, in South Africa, you are more popular than Elvis Presley.
Next day, he says, Emerson, I got to go on tour. I said, why is that, Rodriguez?
This is really going to be Rodriguez. We'll only know if we can actually sing these songs.
And the best part was still to come.
Thanks for keeping me alive.
Yeah, you got to watch it. It's super good. It's a crying movie. If you're South African, you should definitely know that. It was really good. Yeah, that guy, man. Oh my God! Like he was literally the soundtrack to our youth in South Africa, and then nobody knew about him. He was just like an unknown anywhere else except South Africa. Amazing. Yeah, I know all his songs off by heart. Like literally do. He was the soundtrack to South Africa. Okay, guys, do we have any other questions before we thank you to Martin and everybody for your input into the legalities and all that side of things? It sounds like quite a process. I'm glad I'm not a musician. Good luck, guys. I wish you luck. Thanks, Martin. Yeah, it sounds like the Musicians Union is the way to go. That's a good tip. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good. The reason I left for them, because they used to say you get 1 hour's free advice on any contract. So it's like your rental agreement, they'd still do it. And so I tried to do that recently, and it said, oh no, it's got to be a musical agreement. Oh, so I was just paying. So
how much is it, Martin? How much? What's the cost of it?
Is it £200, something like that? Oh yes, £300. Or I just way out of date. I can't remember.
It's about £18.95 a month. It was £18.95 a month.
Okay, so it's not a huge amount. £18, eh?
Oh yeah, okay.
£19.
Yeah.
And when COVID started, they gave us all £200 like rebate. We all just got gifted £200 from the Musicians Union. So that kind of covered a year, actually. Pretty cool.
Wow, amazing.
I didn't get that. Damn.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
You have to apply for it. They sent a message saying if you want the rebate. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to read your emails, guys. Got to read the emails.
Dimash, it might be worth just creating like a little module on this, because a bit like everything else that you've done, it's actually really straightforward, but when we're kind of brainstorming like this, it's pretty overwhelming. But just those components of signing up to Music Union, if you've got a track, sign it up to PRS, PPL, just so there's that kind of like little framework to work by, because then it's just done.
Yeah, I've got this.
Is it all in there?
Yeah, so I don't know if that's comprehensive enough.
Oh, great! No, I hadn't got that.
But we can keep on working on it, you know.
Oh.
But I've got collecting music royalties guide, so there's a whole lot of info there. Then there's other stuff that I found, which was Q sheet contract. Won't let me select once I do this. Let me share another way. Basic.
I just went on their website and they've got an offer for the first 6 months you pay £1. So that's probably worth doing.
Yeah, so guys, go to Musicians Union. Just do at least 6 months. That's not bad, hey? £1 a month, that's pretty good.
Oh, they also do good music gear insurance as well. So if you've got some expensive guitar or something, that might also save you money.
Yeah, I don't know if these agreements are good, but I've put them in there. They come from this guy here, Ryan Wozniak. So there's a split sheet, line bolt split sheet for your music. There's a section on PPL and PRS, just with the link, so you can always just go back here, and the videos will come up at some stage. Performance contracts, just some links I found with performance contracts. So yeah, it's all in there, or some of it, I guess. We'll just add to it as time goes on. Cool. Anything else that we need to cover today?
Thank you.
You're welcome. How's
Nice one.
going live every day coming?
I realize maybe not every day, unless it's like something of like value content wise. Like just picking my nose. No, doesn't work.
Well, that's the thing, is if you make that commitment, then you find things in your day to go live about. Yeah, it's an interesting experience.
I kind of notice how demanding it is, in that like I had this week off from doing it, and it's just really interesting that this week on my socials nothing went up. There was no more followers. There was just like, it's just like, man, it's like you have to just do so much. Like it's just really aware of like, wow, as soon as I back off from that giving and showing up, everything else kind of just stops. Which felt a little bit like, oh fuck, man, I just gotta keep giving so much.
Hey, Tallulah, we were feeling the same thing, and then we realized we've been spending so much time on promo. We really miss actually playing more.
Yeah.
and writing. And actually this week we started touching on writing again. We hadn't for ages, because it's so demanding keeping up with all the socials. But then having a chat with Samesh, I suddenly realized we could utilize the live to make us play more. So if we use the live as like, well, no, we've committed to going live, so we've committed to playing. So it will actually, we're starting to see it differently, like an opportunity maybe to put more time for playing music in our schedule and just involve that, because we really need that. We've got so business that we're really missing just playing.
That makes me think, like, I'm just wondering if anyone would be up for doing, so you can do shared lives together. So if anyone feels like doing, so I'm going to do a concert on the 6th of May, but that's going to be like, you've got to buy tickets to, but up until that, I'm going to just keep doing the little kind of online live sessions, but only like little snippets. So not like doing full.
Sounds great.
So if anyone wants to, yeah, Sonny, if you want to do like a split, yeah, Maria, and we can just.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. I haven't got a clue how to do it.
No, neither have I, but we can, let's work it out. You sing a song, I sing a song, and then we bring our communities together.
Nice.
So apparently with Instagram, if you go live on Instagram, you get the opportunity, there's a button where you can bring your friends on. So if you go live on Instagram, it notifies all your contacts, right? And then if you bring somebody else live on Instagram, it notifies all their contacts.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, you've doubled your outreach by just bringing on somebody live. So what we should really do, we should all go live together on the same call. We should do it every day. You could, you know, you incorporate everybody else, and then maybe, because I wonder if you go live and then you bring somebody on, does it notify all their contacts of all your friends as well?
Yes, it does.
Cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, we could rock it. We could, like, between us, we must have at least 10,000 contacts on Instagram. Yeah, we should do that.
Definitely.
Yeah, we should do that. Maybe on what's a good day? Should do it every week, or just like make it a, I don't know, you know, if it's every week thing's difficult, but if you did it on like on Friday. On Friday, actually, there's the release of Scott and Maria's track and Moshi's track as well.
Cool.
So we could do it on Friday. Hey Maria, why don't you do it on Friday?
Oh, we're going live at 8:30 in the evening. Are
Yeah.
you saying to go live in the daytime?
Well, on that live stream as well.
Cool. Yeah,
That'd
you'll
be
have
good,
to
yeah.
show me how. Yeah.
So yeah, you can go live on Facebook and then you can go live on Instagram separately as well, can't you?
Yeah.
But
Just
can't we also do that multi live thing? Who
Or
sent the
just
link?
use two phones. Just use a phone for Instagram and then
No,
a
but
separate
isn't there
phone.
like there's a channel that someone put a link in the post where you can go live on one channel and it goes live on all 5?
Yeah, restream or
Restream. Yeah.
restream or
Yeah.
the other one. Yeah, we can live stream. You can live stream it to, so you can live stream it to Facebook, live stream it to different pages. You can live stream it to your YouTube account. So we can do all that as well. The details of that are in, but you know, you don't need to pay for it because I'm paying for it every month. So if we all just use the one platform, it just needs some setup. So if you want to do a live stream and you want to restream it to Facebook or anything like that, or YouTube at the same time, then we just need to set it up because there's just a little bit of setup in it. Or you can just add me as an admin on your page, and then we can stream it to your page, and then we can stream it to the Sacred Sound Festival page. We can stream it to YouTube, but we have to have those admin permissions set up. And the one website is called Restream. Let me just show you quickly. The one website is called.
Samesh,
Yeah.
is Restream the same as OBS or is there a difference? Because we've got OBS.
I don't know. OBS is like a
Oh, you cut out. Is that me?
Yeah, no, that's me. OBS, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, OBS is like I don't know if it has some of the same functionality. Can you hear me? Yeah, I don't know if it has the same functionality.
I think you're back. Keep coming and going.
Yeah, it's my internet at the moment. I don't know if it has the same functionality, but maybe some of the same functionality. But OneStream is a specific software for, you can live stream like pre-recorded, or you can live stream to all these different accounts, right? At the same time. So I don't think OBS is set up to do that amount of different live streaming. So you can live stream to Instagram. That's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, because a lot of them don't do that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've not used that before, but that'd be a good one to check out. We can live stream it there. And the thing is, you can live stream from a Zoom account as well. So from Zoom, and then here's the other one, which is Restream, which is also another way to do it. I think they both have some of the same functionality. Yeah, they do. Okay, so either one, we can probably use either one. Okay, guys. So anything else quickly before we go off? We're nearly hitting 2 hours.
There's
now.
also Mixlr going. So I don't know how you guys do it, but I have I have an audio interface. So my mics go into a mixer that goes into an audio face, and the audio face goes into my computer, and then I go straight into Zoom on that. But the audio is always slightly unstable, so I then stream to MixLR, so people can click on to MixLR to have, like, I mean, it's so much clearer and more stable, but they have the visual for Zoom if they want. So that's another option.
Oh, what's
if
that
you guys have
website?
had, it's called MixLR.
How do you
It
spell
just
it?
creates a bit mix, MIX, and then LR, and basically there's a 30-second or 20-second delay on MixLR, which basically I think is what stabilizes the streaming, stabilizes the audio.
And so how do you sync that up with the video?
So it's not synced with the video. So it works for sound baths. So anyone that's doing any kind of meditation stuff, it works really, really well because people are asleep or well, hopefully not asleep, but at least horizontal with their eyes closed, but not so great for concerts. But yeah, it's something to explore, because you can like then if you record, or even if it's just I record the audio in MixLR, because that it just sounds so much better. So even if it's just for you and you do your concert and people are watching you on Zoom, then I guess you've also got that recording, that MixLR recording, if you want to then release a live recording or just, you know, use that for promo in some other way.
I mean, you can probably just record on your computer as well. I usually run a DAW in the background. I use Studio One and record what I'm doing, and then you can dub that onto the video later on for a better quality audio.
Yeah, it's important to maybe also get a good when you're doing that live stream, to get a good video, to record it separately with your phone. So record record the concert with your phone, you know, totally separately, so you get a good video. I think that's really important. We often forget to do that, and then the video is just like terrible, or the audio is terrible. So you're good to have a backup of that recording.
But the audio in Instagram just seems to be so much better. I don't know if everyone else has experienced that. If I do Instagram on my phone, it just seems, the sound just seems to be a lot better. Does anyone else have that experience? No?
But probably, I think the way the software sort of deals with sound is separate, it's different. But I know Lena and Lucy's sounds are amazing, and also Scott and Maria's sound on Zoom is fantastic. But I think the way Zoom deals with sound in terms of, I think it's supposed to be mono, not stereo, or something like that. But it's sounding pretty good. Like if you listen to Lena's or Lucy's, the sound is amazing.
I think it depends on the mic you use as well. So we both use a fairly simple audio interface. Use the Roland Rubik. I'll get it out in a minute, but then you need a good condenser mic, and that just takes care of it.
Yeah, maybe we can go through your setup, Lena, because your setup's really cool. At some stage, not today. But your setup's cool, and so is Scott and Maria's and Lucy's. I haven't heard many others, but they're pretty good. How do we get an audio diagram discussion? We had, what's the audio diagram? What was that about? Let's see, Lena, show us your interface. Cool.
Yeah, so it's just this little thing. And then I use a condenser mic. I use a Marantz mic, but Lucy's mic's completely different. So I think this might be the reason, because we use the same one for this.
Yeah, I also use the Focusrite, just the small one, which works really well. It's really cheap.
Yeah,
super well. Cool.
I think where a lot of artists get lost is just on the digital front. So once we've got the hardware, then it's a whole other minefield to just work out the connections digitally, which I think is like, if you have your music program like Logic or the one that comes with Mac, GarageBand, and then if you want to have a live stream with the sounds, like sound effects, like have nice reverb and stuff when you go out live. I think Martin probably knows this as well. I mean, we use something called Black Hole. We downloaded Black Hole, so it acts like a digital communication between the music program effects of your vocals and instrumentation, and we put that through. We connect that to either Zoom or Facebook live stream or through the OBS program, so that we're getting those, because we really wanted to get to the stage of getting that studio sound when we play out live, to have nice effects. And you can even bring in, you know, stuff playing on the actual Logic program, you know, accompaniment using that. But I guess at some point maybe we'll put it in the course.
Yeah, that's cool. We can
Put
do a
some
whole section
information
on that.
somewhere.
I
Yeah.
know Isla was using, she was using obviously Logic, and then she was using Loopback, which probably has the same functionality as Black Hole. I think Martin's bought Loopback, haven't you, Martin?
Yeah, I bought Loopback. It's about £80 or so, so it's not cheap, and that's very versatile, where you can route anything to anything else. So, of course, the problem, you probably will come across this now, but in case you haven't, what you're listening to is not what's getting sent to Zoom. Zoom just picks up everything that's going into your sound card, if that's what your sound card is. So you're not getting the reverbs and that you're listening to. So Loopback sends the output of your DAW, your Logic or whatever like that, into Zoom. It does add a little delay though. So if you're listening to that and trying to perform to that, it's a little bit tricky. And I've stopped using that, and I'm just using a second computer. So I've just take it out of one computer, get all the sounds right there, send it off to a second computer, which does the broadcast. So I mean, you could just, I've got two sound cards in fact, but you could just take it, you know, out of the headphone jack, one into the microphone of the other. And I just found that's more stable. I found Loopback just gave me lots of problems, but the idea of it's great.
And what about like just using a mixer that you just control the sound mechanically? Because maybe when you are live, it's difficult to control the computer. No, but maybe it's more easy to control analog. I mean, does it if you are using the mixer, that signal is transmitted also directly as you hear it, or is just the pure signal without any effects? Or
yes, I mean, if you've got a mixer and a reverb or something, and you can all do it in the analog domain, I think that's preferable. But it's more bits of kit. So most people have just got a computer and a microphone. So, but if you've got a little mixer and you get the sound you want from the mixer, that's probably the easiest and most reliable way of doing things, I would think.
Yeah, I think the general advice is that the more you can deal with all that sound and the reverb and all the effects on a hardware basis, and then just send one signal to the computer, it's better. Because the minute you start playing around on the computer and have all these different, you know, there's way more opportunity for things to go wrong on the software side than there is on the hardware side. So if at all possible, have your mixer, have your your vocal voice tone box. You can have your interface, and then go to the computer with one cable, with one line, and then that's probably far more superior than trying to just have your microphone and then try and do all that stuff on the computer. Every time I see people doing that, there's always some issues. There's always something. You turn it on, one day it works, the next day it doesn't, and then this is not changed, and it just becomes very complicated. And then also, if things go wrong on the software side, it's so much harder to work out what's gone wrong. If it's on the hardware, it's so much easier to like work out, okay, this cable's gone wrong, or this isn't working, or something like that. On the software side, it's so much more difficult.
If you put lots of reverb on, Zoom can tend to cut it out, I think, because it wants to reduce the amount of information going through. So I think I've had that experience before, using using a mixer to put on some reverb, and then it actually, Zoom sort of sucks it out. I think that is a thing that happens.
Well, that's the old original sound thing, isn't it? If you haven't got original sound on, it's data compressing things might be air conditioning, which is like your reverb.
Yeah, right.
And have you gone into the kind of back end of it, Sonny? Because like when you go into then it's got like, you can get into the minutiae of what part you're tweaking on the sound.
What, into the audio settings in
In
Zoom?
Zoom, yeah, there's a
Yeah.
whole kind of back end section where you can kind of tweak all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I haven't massively explored it, but I just whacked myself through the mixer and whacked on some reverb, and that was about as technical as I got, really.
Okay. Maybe when we have our buddy chat, I can show you through some of the settings that really help to put on or take off.
Yeah, great. Tech support, brilliant. Thanks, Tallulah.
So coming up this week is the launch of Scott and Maria's track on Friday night, and the launch of Moshe Halperin's track. So 2 big launches this week. Obviously we hope that everybody will support and share all those links on your platforms, and we'll obviously do the same for you when your launches come up. And let's see, maybe we can all be on that same live stream on Friday night, and maybe we can play around with sharing Instagram live streams. That'd be really cool. Great call, guys. Thank you so much. Amazing. Thank you, Martin, for all your knowledge and your experience. Thank you, everybody. I hope everybody had a chance to ask all the questions. If you didn't, please send them in the Telegram or on the course itself. And have a great week. I hope everything's working for you. If you have any issues, please contact me. I'll do my best to sort them out. Hey, Scott. And God bless you, and have a great week. Lots of love. Ciao. Bye.